y'all? It's your girl Zeze back with another vid, and today I have a special guest with me. As y'all can see, we have the lovely Miss Chaplain Delora Ann. Okay, and I'm going to let her introduce herself, but we are going to be talking about her book, Flowers from My Quiet Storm. We're going to be talking about this book and some of the things. Some of the things she explored within it about mental health and surrounding those issues. But I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Let's get into it.
Thank you so much, beautiful lady. I met this beautiful lady. I'd like to first say, let's first give honor to God, you all. Grace and peace to all of you viewers who are watching. Do understand that this platform is for everybody, not just a particular population, because y'all know in these unprecedented times, we're in a pandemic, right? And so everybody kind of going through something mentally. So let's just put that disclaimer out there. I don't want it to be like a taboo kind of a topic, or ooh, we better not say too much, because you know what I mean. We want everybody to understand that this is for the family, for the community, for whoever, from professionals in the high office, in between, and at the bottom. This is my first time meeting you, ZZ, so it's exciting. This is my first interview, so if I stumble, y'all, or fumble, y'all, just bear with me and laugh.
Because no, it's okay. That's take your time.
I just want the audience to know that this book will be available through contacting me. Oh, put my phone number out there too. We need to work on that part. But my number is a 404-934-2873. And we'll work on that whole Google voice. I'm under construction. So, which means, y'all say what that means. That means that I need to get busy, y'all. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm kind of caught up because I got an 8 to 5 and I work with children because I love children. It's my gift, working with children. I'm an educator background, and I've been doing that for years. I retired, but I attended a coaching session with a very fabulous woman. I can't call her name. I don't want to be advertising. But she said we have the have-tos. And so this is a have-to. I had to go back to work. To the workforce. I have 4 children. 3 with the diagnosis. 1 who they tried to label, but she denied it because later she discovered her issues with something else. And that's kind of in here in the talk, in my blurb on the back of the book. This is a flyer, of course. There's a lot of great information, but I'm like sort of a resource hub as well. And what I mean by that is if someone has a problem, if they're in a crisis, they can call me and we will point them in a direction. I don't want anybody to feel ashamed. I'm a stigma buster, so we're not here to judge. Prayerfully, no one will judge us or judge me. For doing this, the goal, to God be the glory, He gets the glory in it all, is to make sure that everyone understands that we all are in this together. There is no, there's isolated cases here in the communities. There are families who are dealing with their issues. Some who have been at their wits' end and don't even know there's help available. And with that, my goal is to make sure I can get as much information in people's hands as possible.
You are. You would be considered a foundational Black American then.
I would be.
I think so. You're giving me that energy. I wanted to know about that. Because you talk about your mother and your grandmother, when you was been as a child, and how you were, they were dealing with mental health issues themselves. But how was that viewing that as a child though? Was there any discussions about mental health and things of that nature, or was there just we going to work and this is just as normal behavior? You just kind of got used to it and you didn't realize till you got older that this was abnormal.
Okay, and what I'm pulling from that is this is normal behavior. I say that, you stand around as a child. Can you imagine maybe a 5-year-old? There's mental illness in the house. You just stand around looking. Nobody's talking to you. Nobody's helping you understand that, listen, baby, mommy is not feeling well or she's not well right now. None of that happened, you see. You just saw all kinds of things that made no sense. You couldn't put a label to it and say, oh, that was strange. Oh, you didn't know that to be strange. How do you articulate that as a child? But you knew something was wrong. And the scary part for us, I think, as children, was that when mom wasn't there, when she was snatched away, because mom was a cutter. If you read some of that, and you talk about, and I love my publisher. I want to just put the disclaimer out there for them, because they said, talk about your grandmother more, expound more on that, because that was a powerful woman. I said, whoa, you said it. She was, because our grandmother, who was a product of Milledgeville. Oh, got another one for you. Found this one at a mental health conference. Milledgeville, but for the grace of God. What will you find in this book? A scholarly yet absorbing history of one of the best, worst, and largest insane asylums in the world. The world. It's a must-have. You got to get this one. I'm gonna get you on board with this one. I got it $5.
And that's here. The insane asylum was here
in Milledgeville, Georgia. Yes, ma'am.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
Look at that picture. That's how they treated them. Look how they dragging that soul. That's
yeah. Okay. And who was that by?
This is by a good doctor, Peter G. Cranford. It's old. It's like he's collected a whole lot of information from back to 1800s. Exposed some things. It's like, that's how it is. You know how when something happens, you don't hear about it until like 100 years later?
Yeah.
But it's still happening. And so time moves and changes, and you'll see the cosmetic change, but the spirit still hovers. It's still there. Long story short, back to the grandmother who was a product of Milledgeville, who got the shock treatments. We call her Muddia. And when Muddia came home, Muddia would just sit and look.
Oh yeah, you talked about it in the book. Yeah, she was different when she came back.
Yeah. But she was different before she even went.
Right.
You understand? And so her being that way, nobody understanding how to deal with that, because it was bizarre behavior to the family and to others. You don't call it back then, but something ain't quite right, because she ain't out here working with the rest of us. She's not in here cooking. She's not in here attending the children. What's wrong with her? Why she just sit there? And my grandmother was prophetic also, because she could see things into the future that frightened those of us family members, because she would tell them when it would come to pass. What are you going to be labeled? You're going to be called. They got names for it. I'm not going to go there. But she had that kind of, demeanor, and she was there. And I remember her coming home as a child, and I remember Mama having to take care of her. Now, when Mom got sick, I'm not sure if it was before or after, because Mom met our dad, who was a military man. And what I found out about my dad was, and this is something I didn't even put in the book, and I thought, oh my God, how am I to talk about this? This is great. My dad played baseball. He loved baseball, Z. And I like to be out on the baseball field. I find so much solace. It's peace. I said, why do I love baseball? My dad played baseball. He played for the Atlanta Braves. They call them the Atlanta Crackers. But back to my dear and Mom. Mom being the cutter. I just remember us being snatched from Mom because she had to be institutionalized. And so, I think I talked a little bit about how that went. We had to be raised by uncles and aunts and cousins. And so, that was a disaster. You would be, in situations that were not safe. Safe meaning, the cousins might want to fight you or bully you around and beat you up and just doing all kind of crazy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then if you didn't do what you're supposed to do, you got to whip in, and,
Yeah. Was there any? Well, I understand. Of course, there's one of the main themes throughout your book, at least, is you talk strongly about your faith, and your belief in God and your spiritual journey. So was that taught to you by like close family members that you outside of your mother and grandmother? Was that a way for you to get understanding? Was through church or anything like that?
We went to church.
Church.
My mom took us to church. She's my great aunt. Rest her soul. She left at 102.
Oh wow.
And the Lord changed her name, called her Hope. And she said, I heard an audible voice, and he said, Hope from now on. And I said, oh, we're going to call you Hope. I was going to honor that. I remember going to church. I remember Muddia sitting us down singing songs, just, oh Lord Jesus, he looks good unto you. Come into my heart and save me today. I take Jesus for my personal Lord Savior. Amen. Amen. She taught us that. I must have been about 5. I remember it. So it's embedded. And I don't remember the rest of my siblings, what they know or what they remember even. I remember it. I even talk about some of the things she did that I did mention because I don't want that cloud over our grandmother. I uphold her in high esteem and I honor her. And so I didn't understand then, but my older sibling even said it to me some time ago. She said, "You know, if Lydia was living, she'd be a powerful woman." And I said, "Yes, she would." But she was powerful then. She was. And whenever she would give us, when we get that whipping, she'd tell us she's going to beat the devil out of us because she could see into our future.
Oh, and I actually was about to, that's funny you said that. I was about to ask you, was there any family members, because I know there is a stereotype of especially within the Black community of like especially when it comes to older Black people, of having that kind of like they're ignoring the mental health side and putting it all on the spiritual, like, well, it's just demons, you got something in you need to get out of you, something like that. So was there any of that?
Okay, so from the clinical side of it, yeah, we can talk that all day long, Z, and talk about that. But we are a spirit. You know that.
Yeah, that's true.
Body. Come on. Spirituality is not spooky, first of all. And we need to understand that we're spiritual beings living in a body. Yeah, because we transition out of here. Our people leaving every day. People are passing away. He said this world was not our home, okay? The spiritual side of it, there is a spiritual side because it's their human condition. I think I mentioned that. But at the same time, from a clinical standpoint, there's still people with souls, with personalities. It doesn't do anything to their intellect. Because, we talking about a cum laude. We got honors now. We got 2 of them that are cum laude. And we're talking about people who are intelligent, who understand how to get up and care for themselves, but their reasoning may get off. Or they may have something that they're traumatized with from childhood, something I may not even know about because I haven't always been the best mother. I'm going to just put that there. So my viewers or readers or anybody that think I'm perfect, I've just been redeemed. That's me. I'm raising my hand. God be the glory. When he said to write this, I thought, well, everybody's writing a book. That whole marathon and not a sprint thing, that was an eye-opener for me. Because I'm thinking that at some point, this storm will calm down. We're going to just chill out, man. It's going to get better, and we're going to not have to deal with all this, and like everybody else, and enjoy each other, and be happy. No.
Yeah, and I can imagine too as well, even with you learning about like how was that first moment when you realized because you talk about generational curses in your book as well, and you kind of just touched on that, but how was that when you first realized that you were dealing with that within your family, like your family was dealing with generational curses, and this was something that you was going to have to actively try to fix yourself, how to at least initiate the process of trying to fix the problems in the future.
I love the way you articulate that. Very well said.
Thank you.
It was depressing. It was scary. It was frustrating and anger. My anger that I had pinned up so far down even got me into trouble. And I saw myself doing that thing. And when I did it, it was like the Holy Spirit was showing me, saying, now, you're not supposed to be doing that. And I pushed in. I was like, yes, I am. So I was so angry. Now, with that said, this is a kind of a walk too, where we have to be humble. Anything that we have that we're dealing with in our lives, whether it's mental illness, let's say cancer, because it's our forerunner. Diabetes is a big thing, now. I mean, we got all kinds of things going on there. Now we're dealing with COVID. They're talking about COVID variants and ongoing COVID
variant. Yep.
All kind of propaganda.
Yeah.
But I guess my point is that whatever we have or whatever that thorn is in your side, because Paul had one and he asked God to remove it, and he said, I won't remove it, but I'll do what? Finish that for me. He's going to give you what? He said he won't remove the thorn, but he will give you, God will.
I can't finish that. I don't know. I'm not going to even lie to you. I don't even guess.
It's all good thing. He will grace you in it because he said his grace is sufficient.
Okay. He will grace you. I like that though.
Yeah, you're getting a lesson too. You know, I know you're getting your little teaching in too.
I got it. I'm a good student as well.
I love it. He will grace us in it. So with that grace he gave me to continue the fight, because when I got to that point to think that I didn't know what I was doing, I don't know how I'm going to do this, I made a lot of mistakes. And then I got a lot of things right. I had to just realize that it was more than just a physical kind of if you will.
And that's one of the biggest reasons why people don't come forward, about their.
Because they don't want to be ostracized,
Yeah, and that's what happens a lot of the times, because a lot of us aren't privy to the information about mental health, so it's it's seen as taboo, and a lot of us are hesitant to be more informed, what I'm saying, or ask more questions to them and things of that nature. And matter of fact, you talked about that with your second daughter, how she kind of hid some of her things that she was going through because
oh my God, hid behind those books. You had no idea.
Yeah, you said she was very active in school, very good in school, correct?
And very studious. I did want to say to the view, watch A Beautiful Mind if you haven't seen it. Sorry, not Jamie Foxx. A Beautiful Mind is Russell Crowe. Jamie Foxx was the soloist.
Soloist, I've seen that.
With Jamie. Jamie did a very good job. I met them in person. Met him. He saw my name, the Lord Raw. And he entertained us that evening when we did the national convention, because what NAMI does, they go from state to state. He played for us, and he was on that cello, and it was, and I was like, wow. And so we learned that he won't take the medication. So when he hears the noise of the voices, he plays. That's how he copes. That's one of his coping mechanisms, because they have coping mechanisms.
I don't know, just that idea of him playing the violin, to kind of drown out the voices he's hearing. Do you think that that's a kind of suitable solution for other people dealing with similar mental health issues? Is kind of going through those sort of vices, whether it's music, art in particular, because I know that's
it's therapeutic.
It's therapeutic, exactly.
It's whatever works for the individual, because I'll just share this. Like, there's one situation where one of them heard the noises. So she runs fans, exhaust fans over the stove, bathroom exhaust fans. Stuff, just whatever. And sometimes I forget, and I say, "I must be stuff on." And it's so whatever worked, but the beautiful part is how they manage it. She knows it. She knows what she's dealing with. She knows. Yeah.
On your side, how did that make you feel as a parent? Going back to your daughter, when you found out that she was kind of hiding that side from you, and distracting herself with the books, or using the school as a way of, deflection. How did that make you feel?
Very depressed and very frustrated. I was angry and frustrated. I had a lot of fear, just afraid, just didn't know what to expect. What in the world am I going to do? How am I going to deal with this? I mean, it's like a whole nother metaphor. You just don't know. You just don't know. I had to do a lot of praying, sis. A lot of praying, I got so religious one while God told me to stop it. I had to stop it. But it was serious. I'm serious. It was so bad to a point to where I'm weeping, and God is you're not supposed to come before me weeping like that. You're supposed to be coming praising and lifting up, and I didn't know. I didn't know.
Have you seen parents mishandle situations with their children when they even if it's if you've seen this on a personal level, just seeing that you've noticed something maybe being off with the child, but they're interpreting it like they're just being bad, or she just thinks she grown, or she just thinks she can say what she wants, or something, what I'm saying, things of that effect. And so they're being punished when they really should be being guided, or being asked questions and things of that nature. Have you seen that happen?
Oh yeah, you're looking at me. And working with children, I'm seeing it all the time. or the black man, because so many of them are struggling. You know, I have a friend now who we talk very closely in confidentiality, and I'm always saying, go do this, go do that. This is what you got to do. You know, they'll call, and I'll say, this is what you got to do. This is what I did, and now I have this, and this happened. Yeah, and seeing it in a child, ooh, all I can do is pray. Because a lot of times I'm not a professional, I don't have clinical credentials, and so you can't be in there saying, this child has,
right.
You set yourself up for failure. You setting up for, yeah, you know. And even when I worked in the public school systems, it was always taught, they always stressed, don't go in trying to diagnose nobody. Diagnosing these children, you don't know what, even though the disparity, you know they're coming out of something. They foster, the parents are divorced, they're drug addicts, they live with same-sex parents, they live in da-da-da-da-da. It goes on and on. Is that affecting that child? Yes, you see that. So what can you do? Nothing but just love on them. And be patient. I'll give you an example. Okay, you got a 3-year-old. You already know they got issues. They're acting out, they're just cutting up. So you take them and you say, okay, you're going to time out. Get in here. But once you get in that child's face, you help them understand, look, I love you. But this is not acceptable. You cannot jump off the top of the furniture. You can't throw things and hit other kids in the head with blocks. You know what I mean? Because that child is acting out.
Right.
Stop taking off your clothes. I got a stripper. My part in it that the Lord showed me was to pray for them and love on them. And point that child in a direction. Now, if he fixes it where that person comes to me with something, it's on and popping in. There's my window. I'm going in. I don't approach anything. I don't say anything. Because it's like you're drawing. It's like when Jesus is trying to draw those to him that are lost. I can't shove Jesus down your throat or in your face if you're agnostic. Or if you don't believe, you know, that he's your savior. See, God said, love a man. You gotta love a man. You know, I see you into lifestyle, but I love you anyway. And you can't bring the lifestyle to heaven with you. You got to get delivered and set free. Oh yeah, I've had those conversations where they've actually come to me. We've been face to face, and then there've been situations where that person got delivered because they didn't want that no more. You see, there's a time and place for it. It's right there in Ecclesiastes. It's a word for everything, baby.
What about the opposite side of that? You know, with maybe you're not ignoring it, but maybe you're coddling. You know, maybe you're making excuses for or trying to, you know, paint a narrative about your child that they're doing something. You know, they're doing something for a specific reason or because something else, because you did something, and so now you're kind of enabling them to not see, you know, some of the behaviors. You know, have you seen that?
I love it. I love all of that. If something goes down and they call the popo, who they coming to get? Where the family? You better do the coddling. You better do whatever it takes to make it work. That's where we are right now. I remember, you know, and then early on, I don't know if you remember the conversation I was telling you, I didn't want it. I don't want to have nothing to do with that. Let them whatever die out there. I don't care. But we just can't just do that. Now, there are a lot of them that are over there behind Willow Lane, and they got a whole camp, little homeless camp over there. And most of them have no diagnosis. Most of them are on medication. Most of them aren't. Families have given up. They're tired of it. And what crushes me is a lot of times when I do see the children, and they're with the parents, and they're just held captive there because they don't have a grandma that's gonna come and say, I'm taking custody of these children temporarily until you get yourself together. That's tough love. See, we talk about tough love a lot. And they gonna fight you and accuse you and call you all kind of names. Yeah, you gonna go toe to toe shouting matches. Language. I don't do language though. You know, I got delivered. Boundaries.
Right, yeah, because you do mention that in your book, you know, about not allowing certain, you know, disrespectful behaviors.
You can't take that because you have feelings and it hurts. So you call me a choice word, you know, I'm like, but I'm not that anymore. I was, but I'm not that anymore. And I don't see that.
You, matter of fact, you just touched on black boys a little bit. You was about to go into that. You actually have one son. Did you see any differences in how he was dealing with his mental health versus the girls? Or how you had to interact or deal with him, and helping him versus with your girls. Was there any difference?
Oh my God, clueless. You're a boy now. He's just bad. Sweating in the water fountain. You doing what? Teacher called him. This boy over here, he doing what? I'm gonna beat your behind. And then I discovered later, Mom, did you know? While he's incarcerated, it's in there. We're not ashamed.
Right.
Did you know that he has been suffering since he was 4 years old here in court? Since I was like, oh my God.
What advice would you give to mothers, who are, suspecting, or, maybe interested in or curious about taking their children to some sort of mental health facility or to get checked out of some sort? What advice would you give to your mothers, the mothers, especially the single mothers, the ones with not as much support systems, but also those with husbands and, families? Like, what advice would you give to them? Where do they start?
Go to YouTube TED Talks and listen to him first. Good old Dr. Lloyd Settler. He's going to talk about the signs, like their clothes drooping, notice little things like this, mood, just, don't be too microscopic and, don't micromanage them too much. Just let them be. If they pick at their food, leave them alone. If they don't want to eat, it's okay. If they drink a little something, fine. And don't drink it all, that's okay. They don't want to be bothered, leave them alone. As long as they're not in there hurting themselves, trying to plot to hurt anyone. That's the question that they usually ask. When they get that call, that 911, they always ask, is the person is anyone trying to harm themselves or anyone?
Right.
That's the number one question. And that's the advice to parents, when because then especially if it's an only child, oh my God, my heart goes out to them. My heart bleeds for any situation where they're first dealing with it, because I've had many calls that didn't return because I give them a little bit of, what I'm giving you. It was just, I don't know. Did they get a handle on it? Did they work it out? Did they figure it out? There are very few that, because it's just too much. We go in denial and we want it to go away. And we want it to be a phase. It's just a phase. They're going to get better.
Right.
And sometimes a lot of them, they do have it. They'll know that mental illness is on that. One of those sides. It's mom, dad, somebody's got something. It could be nothing happening. And that it just happened to be one of those situations where, the child's imbalanced. I mean, it's just no set answer. It's just information more so, and a lot of love. A lot of love got to go into it. A lot of prayer. A lot of love, a lot of prayer. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna. I definitely want to put some of these. You listed all your resources in the bag, but I would like for you to give some of your resources that you use or that you're more familiar with. To those who may be looking for help.
All right, go to that community service board. That's the CSB, the one I mentioned. Now, every county has one. Not every county, most counties. Clayton, Cobb's a good place to be. Cobb, Smyrna, all up there. Gwinnett, Fulton, McDonough. We have McIntosh Trail, and it goes out. It does it's a regional thing. So the span goes out to maybe like Spalding and Burnsville, like that. Mac Trail covers mostly, Fayetteville, Mac Trail, Fayetteville, they are very nice community over there. But they have a lot of it. They have a lot of mental health as well. They do. You don't hear much, but I know it goes on. A lot of them want to paint this beautiful picture. Come to our town. Enjoy eating here, I'm eating McDonald's. I'm in trouble. Don't put that in there. I'm in so much trouble.
I cut that out. We ain't true. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, but every county does that. They want to paint this picture because Atlanta's the rise of the Phoenix. I didn't see that. That was Josiah's dad. He said that back in the 90s. He said the rise of the Phoenix. I'm like, what is he talking about? I mentioned him in there purposely because I know firsthand the hell that we dealt with and had to go through. And that's in the Bible. But I know already, it's like, it's something that I say, he didn't get to say it. I'm his voice. And it wasn't pretty. Oh, it wasn't a pretty picture.
How did he deal? Was there a difference in how you dealt with your children's mental health issues and how your husband did at the time?
Honey, we clueless. You mean the husband that I divorced?
My
baby daddy.
Yeah.
Nobody's talked about it until we all rallied around each other here. Me and my four no more. We're the ones that have done the good work ourselves. So all credit goes to my children. They're the ones that get on the road to recovery and got the little red book that talks about your treatment plan and dealing with your self-negative talk and your recovery plan and what you doing. They're the ones. So the props go to them. It's nothing that I can say that I did by myself because that's why I talk about them. They are amazing, all four of them.
I thank you so much for coming on to my platform to speak on your lovely book. Y'all make sure you grab her book, Flowers from My Quiet Storm. This is her number and her cash right at the bottom. I actually might edit it so I can put donate or shop with, I do have to edit it.
People like to see visuals.
Yes.
They give
the book too.
On the front. And I said, no, because I don't want them to see the book and see me. They can see me on the blurb. I said, I want people to be thinking like, what is she talking about? Flowers with mental health. Mental health? Shoot. I'm over here now. This Negro crazy. You know how we rap, how we talk.
But I like it though. Flowers from a Quiet Storm. It's like the
I got it from my good friend March. She's in there. I talk about her because she's the one that said it. I did not. Look, God sent me all the help I need. And I was in there going, where in the world am I going with this? I don't have no money. I don't know how to write a book. I don't know what I'm going to publish. Look at where we are now.
Yeah, and that's you said that this was notes you took over years, so I'm glad you held on to those. It came together well.
That's it. Because I started out over there looking at Michelle, talking about Michelle Obama. And I'm like, her platform is about obesity and helping children. But I think the writing piece was what got me going. Because anything you can kind of talk about and be transparent that will help other people that people are afraid to talk about or don't think you should be talking about. It's time. We got to get it out there. Thank you so much. It was y'all. I'm looking forward to another meeting.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I enjoy this so much. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful night. Again, make sure y'all please go get her book. Show her some love. Give her some donations. She deserves it.
$200, I forgot to mention.
You what?
I will mail an autographed copy if they give me the address.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely. So make sure you
right? So do put that in for me. Let all your listeners know that hey, she mailed me my copy. Feel free, she'll be glad to. Because I was already told go buy you up a bunch of those at Dollar General. Because you'll be doing a lot of mail out.
That's a blessing.
And they give you an autographed copy.
Yeah, I got an autographed copy.
That's why I'm glad I don't send it to Amazon and all those. Dog, I want an autographed copy.
Oh, that's a blessing.
Thank you so much again. I know we'll be talking, so you got it.
We will be in touch.
We do not play but I green. You fuck with the team. Might find your West in the creek. We crossing our T's. We don't never miss it.